Imagine a world divided, a planet reshaped by a small but decisive geological twist. Over 3 million years ago, the Isthmus of Panama emerged, bridging two colossal landmasses, North and South America. It may seem insignificant at first glance, a narrow strip of land, but its formation changed the fate of species, climates, oceans, and civilizations forever. But now let us enter an alternate reality where that connection never formed, a world in which North and South America remained isolated, their destinies unfolding in parallel yet utterly distinct paths. In this reality, the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans stretch uninterrupted, carving deep boundaries between continents. The oceans are wider, currents are altered, and the flow of life itself, its migration, evolution, and survival, has been transformed. Visualize from orbit two giant continents, majestic and unbroken, separated by an unrelenting, tumultuous sea. On the eastern edge of North America, the Gulf Stream is stronger, and hurricanes form with a terrifying, relentless force, spinning across unbroken land. Meanwhile, South America, untouched by northern influence, experiences warmer currents and denser, more isolated rainforests, home to creatures that evolved without predators from the north. In the north, enormous mammals roam vast plains that are both familiar and strange. Woolly mammoths graze alongside bison that have evolved in entirely new forms. Predators, their silhouettes sharp against the horizon, hunt with ferocity, but some species that crossed into the south in our reality never arrived. Saber-toothed cats and dire wolves dominate ecosystems that are both brutal and balanced. Rivers, widened by glacial melt, carve through mountains, leaving canyon systems even larger than the Grand Canyon, yet untouched by southern forces. Meanwhile, South America becomes a sanctuary of isolation. The Amazon rainforest, unbroken and untamed, expands to unprecedented depths. Unique species flourish. Giant ground sloths tower above the dense foliage. Predatory marsupials hunt in stealthy packs, and brightly colored birds with wingspans rivaling eagles soar above the canopy. Without the North's influx of mammals, ecosystems evolve in ways both alien and mesmerizing. The very air hums with the cries of species unseen anywhere else on Earth. Predators dominate, yet the balance is intricate, delicate, almost sacred. But the isolation extends beyond nature. Human evolution, migration, and civilization are profoundly altered. Homo sapiens may never have traveled south in significant numbers, at least not in the same waves. North America develops early settlements along rivers and fertile plains, but their culture is shaped solely by what reaches them from the west and east. South America, untouched by northern migrants, nurtures entirely independent civilizations. Ancient cities rise, built in architectural styles unimaginable to our historical record, blending seamlessly with the dense jungle and towering peaks. Megalithic structures, temples, and pyramids reflect knowledge developed without northern influence. Now imagine the consequences for the oceans. Without the land bridge, the flow of the Atlantic and Pacific currents is forever altered. The Gulf Stream becomes a torrent of heat, carrying tropical energy northward with unprecedented force. Europe experiences warmer winters, deserts expand in Africa, and monsoons shift unpredictably in Asia. South America, conversely, is shielded from northern climatic changes. Its rainforests grow deeper, its mountains colder, and the Andes more isolated than ever. The separation reshapes not just local life, but the fate of the entire planet. In this world, evolution itself takes a different course. Animals that would have migrated north never do, and species that would have moved south remain isolated. Imagine creatures like giant armadillos, armored to perfection, evolving without fear from northern predators. Birds with massive wingspans dominate the skies, feeding on fruit and smaller mammals. Sharks patrol coastal waters, their hunting patterns uninterrupted by northern rivers spilling into southern seas. The chain of life becomes a narrative entirely distinct from our own. Yet, isolation is not only biological, it is geological. Volcanoes in Central America, instead of forming a chain along a land bridge, erupt into the sea, creating new islands, breeding grounds, and deadly hazards. Hurricanes travel longer over open water, striking coasts with ferocity previously unknown. Rainfall patterns in Central America are reduced, turning parts of the continent into semi-arid plains, while the Amazon flourishes. Mountains rise in jagged, untouched ranges, forming natural fortresses for wildlife and early human settlements alike. Humans in this alternate reality live profoundly different lives. In North America, massive cities arise along the Mississippi and Ohio river valleys, shaped by resources and climate alone. Without South American crops like potatoes and maize reaching the north in early history, agriculture develops differently. Corn may still exist, but staple foods are limited to northern adaptations, wild grains, berries, and tubers. Civilization develops more slowly, yet uniquely, creating trade networks among rivers and coasts, rivaling what might have existed in a connected world. South America, isolated, becomes a world apart. Civilizations thrive on unique crops. Cassava, quinoa, and tropical fruits dominate diets. But without northern influence, bronze and iron arrive late, and metallurgy takes strange, unexpected forms. Stone architecture dominates longer, and complex societies evolve around rivers, mountains, and deep forests. Trade is constrained to the continent, creating intense regional diversity. Political structures develop differently. Empires may rise without the northern threat, yet their expansion is limited by geography and the vast, unbroken rainforest. Imagine the wildlife interactions. Predators in North America dominate open plains. Apex species in South America rule forests with stealth. Mega herbivores shape ecosystems. Forests grow denser under the absence of northern grazers. In some cases, evolution produces forms that are simultaneously terrifying and magnificent. Saber-toothed cats twice the size of lions, birds of prey that hunt ground mammals larger than humans, and venomous reptiles unseen anywhere else on Earth. North and South America, isolated, become laboratories of life itself, experimenting with evolutionary possibilities that never touch the other. The climate oscillates dramatically, shaping civilizations in unpredictable ways. Without the Isthmus of Panama, ocean currents fail to distribute heat evenly. Ice ages occur differently. Glaciers in North America expand, but South America remains relatively warm. Tundras and frozen plains spread across Canada and Alaska, while tropical rainforests in Brazil flourish without interruption. The human experience is molded by survival, migration, and adaptation. Communities in the north innovate for cold, building insulated structures, mastering hunting on vast, icy plains. In the south, human ingenuity focuses on agriculture, river navigation, and survival in dense jungles teeming with dangerous predators. Conflict in this alternate world takes unique forms. Without intercontinental migration, diseases travel differently and pandemics are delayed or transformed. Epidemics that in our world reshaped history occur in localized patterns, allowing societies to rise without interruption, or in some cases, collapse under their own unforeseen vulnerabilities. Human imagination, art, and myth evolve uniquely. North Americans may develop stories of northern beasts, massive mammoths, and saber-toothed cats as central to culture. South Americans craft legends of enormous ground sloths, giant eagles, and venomous predators lurking in endless forests. Even trade is transformed. Without the land bridge, oceans dominate commerce, and maritime technology evolves sooner in certain regions. Canoes and longboats in South America may advance faster, exploring rivers and coastal waters extensively. North Americans may focus on riverine networks, with trade concentrated along inland water systems. The flow of information, innovation, and ideas becomes staggered, creating civilizations that are simultaneously advanced and isolated. Finally, imagine the visual spectacle of this world. Aerial shots show jagged coastlines and dense forests separated by unbroken oceans. Rivers like the Amazon and Mississippi wind across continents like veins of life. In the north, mammoths trek across frozen plains, silhouetted against towering snow-capped mountains. In the south, ground sloths push through thick undergrowth, pursued by packs of alien predators. Cities rise in harmony with geography, stone pyramids peaking above jungle canopies, fortified northern settlements clinging to cliffs and riverbanks. The entire planet vibrates with life, evolution, and human ingenuity, all unfolding as if Earth had written a completely different story. As centuries pass, the isolation of the continents intensifies its effects, reshaping every facet of life. North America, sprawling under harsh climates, sees the rise of societies that are uniquely adapted to their environment. Rivers like the Mississippi and Missouri become the arteries of civilization. Cities of wood, stone, and clay emerge along the riverbanks, their architecture designed for resilience against floods, blizzards, and predatory beasts. Without crops from the south, humans innovate. Giant fields of native grains, tubers, and berries sustain populations, while ingenious irrigation systems allow settlements to thrive in otherwise harsh territories. The northern megafauna influence daily life profoundly. Mammoths, bison, and giant elk are hunted strategically, not recklessly, as communities understand the delicate balance between survival and ecological collapse. Predators like saber-toothed cats and dire wolves shape human migration, forcing the development of defensive structures, watchtowers, and complex social strategies. In the frozen north, myths intertwine with reality. Mammoth hunts become ritualized, legendary beasts become spiritual guardians, and stories of colossal predators circulate for generations, forming the basis of oral history and culture. Meanwhile, South America flourishes in verdant isolation. Civilizations evolve amid towering jungles, mighty rivers, and jagged mountain ranges. Here, humans cultivate cassava, quinoa, and a variety of tropical fruits, advancing agricultural techniques in harmony with the environment. Dense forests demand architectural innovation. Cities rise on stilts, high platforms, and terraced mountainsides. The civilizations here develop unique political structures, confederations of river kingdoms, mountain fortresses, and jungle empires that thrive through diplomacy, trade, and, when necessary, war. The animal world continues to astonish. Ground sloths, now larger than elephants, dominate forest clearings, uprooting trees with astonishing force. Predatory marsupials hunt in packs, their intelligence rivaling canids in the north. Massive eagles soar above the canopy, snatching prey the size of deer with brutal efficiency. Rivers teem with giant fish and reptiles, creating ecosystems so unique that the presence of humans is a constant negotiation with nature rather than domination over it. North America and South America, still unaware of each other, develop science, technology, and culture along entirely divergent paths. In the north, metallurgy progresses slowly but purposefully. Stone, bone, and eventually bronze are used to craft weapons, tools, and architectural marvels designed for durability and defense. In the south, isolation fosters extraordinary engineering feats, massive wooden and stone bridges spanning rivers, irrigation canals that traverse valleys, and pyramidal temples that reflect astronomical knowledge and religious precision. The absence of northern influence allows these innovations to follow paths entirely unimaginable to the connected world of our history. Climate plays a central role in shaping civilizations. North America, with its harsh winters and scorching summers, demands resilience and ingenuity. Fire becomes a tool of survival, shaping architecture, food preservation, and ritual practices. Ice and snow influence migration patterns and city planning. South America, with its wetter, warmer environment, encourages mobility, agriculture, and expansive trade networks along rivers and coastlines. Here, diseases evolve differently. Epidemics that devastated human populations in our reality never reach these societies, while entirely new pathogens emerge from dense jungles, shaping survival strategies and medical knowledge in ways alien to northern civilizations. The oceans, unbroken by a land bridge, are theaters of expansion and discovery. North American explorers dominate river networks, crafting longboats and rafts capable of enduring violent currents. They push along the Atlantic coast, discovering islands that remain uncharted in our timeline. South Americans master coastal navigation sooner, building vessels capable of reaching far-off river deltas and estuaries. In both worlds, humans develop unique maritime cultures. Navigation by stars, currents, and the flight patterns of birds becomes critical knowledge passed through generations. Conflict is inevitable. As populations grow, rival cities and kingdoms vie for resources, territory, and prestige. In North America, rivers become battlefronts, where fortified settlements clash over hunting grounds and fertile floodplains. Mammoth hunts transform into organized military exercises, with warriors learning to coordinate in large-scale operations. In South America, dense jungles provide natural fortresses. Cities hidden deep within foliage use knowledge of the terrain to repel invasions, employing ingenious traps, elevated platforms, and camouflage. Wars are fought with a blend of strategy, brute force, and intimate knowledge of the environment, producing cultures steeped in both courage and cunning. Meanwhile, evolution does not remain static. Isolated ecosystems push species into unprecedented adaptations. In North America, wolves evolve into larger, intelligent pack hunters, capable of complex strategies rivaling human hunters. Birds of prey develop sharper talons and enhanced hunting techniques. In South America, arboreal predators adapt to navigate dense canopies, ground sloths become more agile despite their size, and enormous snakes patrol riverbanks, their ambush tactics refined over millennia. Each continent becomes a living laboratory, a stage for evolutionary drama that unfolds independently. Religion and philosophy mirror the divergence of continents. In North America, human belief systems center on survival, cycles of nature, and reverence for the animals that dominate the land. Mammoths and saber-toothed cats become symbols of power and wisdom. Temples echo with carvings depicting these creatures as intermediaries between humans and the divine. In South America, spirituality intertwines with jungle and mountain ecosystems. Pyramids and stone temples align with celestial bodies, guiding agricultural cycles and religious festivals. Myths depict colossal birds and sloths as guardians and omens, their movements interpreted as divine messages. Trade and innovation, while limited to each continent, evolve in complex ways. North Americans perfect overland transport, developing sleds, pack animals, and early road systems. South Americans excel in riverine navigation, crafting vessels capable of transporting goods across jungles and mountains. Communication becomes a sophisticated art. Signals, runners, and knowledge of the natural world allow civilizations to thrive despite geographic limitations. Each continent advances technologically and culturally in isolation, producing societies both familiar and alien, human yet distinctly separate from each other. By now, humanity has shaped landscapes dramatically. Terraces carve mountainsides, cities dominate plains, and agricultural zones stretch across fertile valleys. Yet nature asserts its dominance. Forests reclaim abandoned lands, rivers shift unpredictably, and predators continue to evolve in response to human presence. The delicate balance between civilization and wilderness becomes a central theme of life, echoing through myths, festivals, and oral history. Humans learn to respect and adapt rather than dominate completely, creating a world rich with tension, harmony, and endless possibility. Imagine a bird's-eye view of the planet: North America, sprawling under harsh climates, populated by stone cities, open plains, and colossal beasts. South America, lush and unbroken, dotted with jungle temples, elevated cities, and giant predators moving silently among the trees. Oceans glimmer with currents that carry life, nutrients, and secrets from pole to pole. The separation has not diminished life, it has diversified it, pushing evolution, civilization, and human ingenuity down entirely different paths. And yet, the story does not end here. The question lingers: what would happen if these continents eventually discovered each other? If North American explorers crossed the open ocean, or South American river navigators ventured farther than ever before, the worlds would collide in ways unimaginable, biologically, culturally, and politically. Massive species that had evolved in isolation would confront each other. Civilizations that had never met would share technologies, beliefs, and conflicts. The eventual meeting would be one of awe, terror, and profound consequence, a true alternate history with endless possibilities. In the meantime, we remain in this moment of perfect separation, a cinematic tableau of a planet reshaped by a single absence, the Isthmus of Panama. Every mountain, forest, river, and city reflect centuries of independent evolution. The air hums with the cries of unique animals, the rustle of humans adapting to survival, and the ever-present rhythm of nature asserting itself. Life has found its path twice, separately yet miraculously, producing two worlds on one planet, a